Did it work? Accept. There we go. Okay, let's hope
Better now.
You got me now?
Yeah, yeah. You
Okay.
were saying that you started your third year. That's all I heard.
Okay, so I start my third year, and the very first practice, I collapsed after we ran.
Mm-hmm.
They take me to the hospital. Doctor says, "Oh wow, your body is rejecting the nail."
Wow.
The metal nail. But not only that, my whole second season, I played. The reason why I had pain was because one of those screws in there was broken.
No way.
And it was scratching my bone the whole time. And
That's insane.
then they took everything out, and after that I was good. But I got like a little knot in the front of my
So you have nothing in your leg
I
now?
got it all taken out, yeah. And after
Wow.
that I was pain free. I was good. Yo,
That's interesting.
Okay, man. Enough of my stories. We are way off
Well,
track.
I know, but a little bit more to that. I actually have one in my other leg too. I have
For
a nail
real?
and screw in my other leg. After my rookie year in Cleveland, I had a small stress fracture in the other one because I used to have really bow legs,
I got
and
bow legs, yeah.
I was playing, man, and I just knew something wasn't right. So I kept playing, and I kept telling the doctors like something's not right. Got an X-ray with the doctors there, and I'm losing you again, man.
Oh,
All right, you back?
what is up?
You back?
Okay, all right.
You back?
I can hear you all the time. Jay, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can hear you and see you the whole time. Hold on. Damn, what is wrong with Instagram today? What is?
Not sure, man.
Yo, it's on my nerve. Oh, okay, now I see you perfect. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're lagging though. Like you're a little blurry and lagging.
Some bullshit. Hold on.
No,
I
all good.
don't.
All good.
Okay, can you hear me good, or I'm lagging
I can
still?
hear you. I can hear you and see you now.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna. All right, enough about injury stories. We're gonna we're gonna get to the rest. So I wanted to ask you one more question about Clemson. So you redshirted your freshman year. You started playing your real freshman year then, and then your sophomore year you really exploded from 5 points to 13 points.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was the key to that big jump between your freshman year and your sophomore year?
Honestly, man, I'm a gym rat, and that summer, I remember that summer, man, I was constantly in the gym twice a day, like outside of like our normal like basketball practice. Um, our gym will be closed, and I'm finding a way to go work out somewhere, you know. I have a good friend, one of my best friends, Riley McGillen. He was a walk-on, and whenever I wanted to shoot, he was always down, like no matter where it was, man. And I became a gym rat. I was working out every day. Like I was obsessed with the journey and the grind. And obviously some things changed with our team. Like we ended up losing two seniors who were like very important to the program. And we kind of had that next batch of people coming in. So you kind of had no idea who was going to take that next step.
Yeah.
And for me, in my head, always, because I'm a little bit crazy. For me, always, I knew I was going to take that next step. And can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I knew I was going to take that next step. So when that next season came, man, I hit the ground running. I was always the first one in the gym to come in working out. I took the weight room extremely serious, man. And honestly, I think that I'm losing you. I'm losing you, man.
Yo, this is some bullshit. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm gonna get out of my Wi-Fi. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi. And I hope. Is it working? Are you there? Jay, you there? I see you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Oh man, this is some bullshit, man.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I was saying that I was just one of those guys, man. Like I just loved being in the gym no matter what. Like I just took that summer extremely serious as far as like the weight room and on the court. And my assistant coach at the time, Steve Smith, he was like, he was my guy, man. Like he was in my corner. He was always positive with me, always encouraging me, teaching me a little tricks and stuff here and there. And I was very confident in myself, man. Like I knew we had a guy, KJ McDaniels. I don't know, maybe some of y'all remember him, but he played at Clemson for I think 2 years with me.
For a minute, right?
He did, yeah, 1 or 2 years with me. And he was always someone I looked up to, just like his work ethic and how he was. And, you know, he was a monster in college. You know, obviously I've never seen a guy like that up close and personal. Mm-hmm. And just seeing how he, you know, took, you know, the step every day, it just helped me out. And once he left, I was like, all right, yeah, it's my turn. It's my turn. And it happened for me, man. We didn't have a great season, like as far as wins and losses, but I definitely took a huge step statistically and like in my game moving forward.
Mm-hmm. When you were coming out of college, I saw that you could have gone to the NBA Combine after your junior year. You declined.
No, I did. I went to the Combine. I couldn't go to the draft. I did go to the Combine.
And why did you pull out of the draft? It wasn't the right time?
The golden question. The golden question. I asked myself this. I used to ask myself this all the time. So that was actually the first year you could do the whole thing where you enter the draft and then kind of test your name and see what happens.
Right.
And man, I tell you, bro, like as soon as the season ended, and that was the year that I was first team All ACC, Most Improved Player of the Year. I was shot 45% from three. Incredible season, man. And I remember after our last game of the year, I was like, I'm leaving. Like, no chance I'm coming back. Like, no way. No chance. And then, so I'm going through this whole process, like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm for sure leaving. And I remember the Combine invites go out. And the way it works is like they send out like 3 or 4 batches of invites. First batch goes to the guys who are like lottery. Second batch goes to the guys who are probably first round. Second batch are like second round and then late second round guys. And some of those are going to be guys who are like, just their names been popular. They're going to get a batch of invites. And first batch comes out, my name's not in it. And I'm like, man, like, what? Like, I don't understand, because I was first team All ACC. Right. The other 4 guys who were on the ACC team with me, they all got invites. So that's probably when the hesitancy started with me. Sean, I can't hear you, bro. I can't see you.
I see you. I hear you. I can hear you. I can see you.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear me? Yeah. It's not interrupted at all?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So I remember once I didn't get the initial invite to the Combine, I was like, I was a little messed up a little bit, honestly. I was like, I don't know if I want to leave now anymore. And the thing about it for me is that, remember, I had that redshirt year. So I was technically going to graduate that summer anyway. So go through the whole process. I remember I had a workout in, I think, Utah. It was my first actual workout. And it was like maybe a week and a half before the Combine. And my agent called me. I was at the airport. And he was like, hey, you got an alternate invite to the Combine. So, like, you'll have to fly from, I remember I had 3 workouts before the Combine. I think it was Utah, Boston, like one more. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you're going to fly from the city that you're doing the workout for to the Combine, to Chicago, to the Combine. So I'm like, all right, cool. Super excited for that. I had my first few workouts, played very well in them. I'm in great shape. I interview very well, go to the Combine. And like the main question for me during the whole process for NBA teams was like, how well can I shoot the ball? Because my first year, I think I was in the low 20s, second year, low 20s, and my third year, 45%. So it's like, and I had over 100 attempts that year too. So like, it's not like I wasn't shooting the ball. I was shooting it a lot. So that their whole question was like, is this sustainable? Like, is this something that you can continue to be, as a player moving forward? Go to the Combine. I played 2 games because like the invite I had to play in the games, which I didn't mind. Played in the games. I think I shot 4 for 5 in both games, like combined. 4 for 5 or 4 for 6, one of the two. Played very well. Interviewed extremely well. Was projected a late first round, early second round pick. I don't know, man. Honestly, like, I don't know. I think as soon as the things started getting serious and like the way it happens, like you have that pull-out date. So you have to pull out, I guess, maybe like a month before the draft if you want to go back to school and continue with your eligibility. And I remember I was in Phoenix, man, at my workout in Phoenix, and I was trying to ask them, like, yo, like what do y'all think? Because, like, the way it works out, like, they'll fly you to their city the day before the workout. You don't do anything. You're in the hotel. You sleep. Next morning, send you the itinerary. You go in. You get weighed. They do your height, finger, hand length, and all that, finger length. So many crazy tests, and then they actually put you on the court. You do a individual workout, or you work out in a group. So you do that, and then after you eat, and then after that you meet with like the front office. And I'm in the meeting. I'm just like, hey man, like what do y'all think I should do? What do y'all think I should do? And they're like, bro, like we can't tell you what you should do. Like we can't give you any special like tips or anything. It's gotta be a decision that you want to do. So I'm like, all right. And I had to work out in San Antonio. And I remember I was doing my interview with their front office. And I forget how we got on this topic, man, but I think I asked them, like, could I possibly better my stock by coming back to school for one more year? Because, you know, Buddy Hield, I think the year before he did that, he came back to school, crazy season, was a lottery pick, yeah. So for me, I was like, you know, should I come back to school and better my stock? Because, like, also, I didn't understand a lot about the whole process and how things work with like second-round draft picks. And it's changed a lot now because you see guys who are drafted in the 50s now signing guaranteed deals. So it's changed a lot from 2017 when I was drafted. But I didn't know enough. But ended up deciding to go back to school, had a press conference and everything at the school. Everybody was super excited for me to come back. Came back to school. I had a great season. I didn't shoot 45%. And I remember my agent that was like advising me through the whole process. He was like, bro, like it's going to be impossible to like replicate these numbers. I shot like 50, 40, and like maybe like 80 from free throw. This is going to be impossible to replicate these numbers. And me being young and dumb and arrogant, I can do it. I can do it. So ended up going back to school. I shot, I think, like 26% from three, and then got drafted second to last, so 59th overall in the 2017 draft.
So let's move on to you get selected by the Spurs. They pretty much stash you in G League. You bounce around G League teams, blah blah blah, until you get your chance in Cleveland. That I can honestly say that's where I saw you the very first time. I didn't watch a whole lot of games like back then, but I saw you play, and I remember seeing you play, and then when I saw you in Ulm, I was like, wait a minute. I know that name. That's a special name. I know that name. Where did I know that? Yeah, from Cleveland. That's how I remember who you were. So then, you get a chance in Cleveland. Talk a little bit about like how hard it really is to stick with an NBA team. You know, you're going G League. Then you get called up. You go down. You're called up. How hard is that?
So for me, I signed a two-way contract. For those who are listening who don't understand what that is, it is. So you're signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers, for example. That's where I was at. But you're also on the G League team as well. Like you're on both rosters. And you have 40. Well, back then when I was there, you had 45 days that you could spend up with the big club maximum that season. And after that, they have to sign you if they want to keep you up there. So the life of a two-way, man, like it was tough. It was tough for sure. But I say fortunately for me, man, like they were very organized in Cleveland. Like I would get my schedule, let's say, for example, every Sunday. And I would have on my schedule, all right, I'm going to play with the G League team on Tuesday. I'm going to travel to Cleveland and play on Thursday with the Cavs. I'm going to stay with the Cavs until Sunday and play the game on Saturday. And then I'm back with the G League team. So I wouldn't know ahead of time.
Right.
But like when I was in Austin with the Austin Spurs, our two-way guys at the time, like there have been multiple times, but they were like warming up for a G League game. And they're like, yo, like y'all aren't playing tonight. Y'all got to go. Y'all got to go to San Antonio. It's like, it's so like, it's just random. It's really random. Right. Cleveland did a really, really good job of keeping it organized, but it was very tough, man. But for me, fortunately, I'll say, I spent a lot of my days like in a row up with the big club. There were times where I'm gone for like 2 weeks with the Cavs, and I'll come back for like a G League game here and there. But I remember specifically this one road trip we had. It was our West Coast road trip. We had a game in New Orleans, say, for example, on I think a Thursday night, and then we had to travel to Houston on the next day, play the game on Friday night in Houston, travel to LA on Saturday. Well, guess who was in LA on Saturday as well? Our G League team. So I played on yeah, I played Wednesday, Friday, G League Saturday, and then Sunday we played the Lakers and Staples and actually won that game. And that was actually the end of our road trip. But it's just random, man. Like you're literally like you have to basically live in limbo. You have to live with a backpack. But that was honestly probably some of the best experiences of basketball I've had, man. Like it's nothing like the NBA.
Yeah.
And I actually had a lot of good games in the NBA as well. So um, I just remember, man. Like I remember we were playing. I think my third or fourth game. I was in Milwaukee, and it's just so crazy how I remember because like I remember I made a 3-pointer and I'm running back on defense, and in my head I'm saying I know how this looks on TV because I've watched it so much. I've watched the NBA so much. I know what that just looked like on TV, and ended up playing a great game. It was my first career double in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, man, I was playing a lot. Like I was up a lot. I got all my days as a two-way player. Very, very great experience though. But it's like you said, it's very, very hard to stick, man. Like you see so many guys. And that was the thing at the time I didn't really understand was like why I didn't get another opportunity. Because like I played well. I played in 27 games.
27, yeah. Started 4.
I'm sorry. Yeah, started 4 of them. So it's like in my head, I'm like, okay, like why am I not getting another opportunity or why am I not, this and that? But honestly, man, it's just the NBA is all about fit and opportunity. There are so many guys, and I'm sure you know this. There's so many guys who are playing outside the NBA who are NBA players. So it's just about fit and opportunity, man. That's all it is.
Okay, so you played that last year in Cleveland and stuff, and then you decide to turn your back to not turn your back, but you decided to try Europe. That's when you went to Israel, right? After that season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The next season was a G League season in Chicago.
Okay.
And then COVID happened. Happened.
Yeah.
And then I decided to go to Israel.
Okay. How difficult was it to make that decision to say, okay, I'm going to go and try Europe? Maybe I'm not getting a fair shake in the NBA, but I want to continue my career and I'm going to go to Europe. How difficult was that for you to make that decision?
Honestly, if it wasn't for COVID, it would have been very difficult. But because the situation was so unknown, it was pretty easy. Like I think Israel and maybe it was like a handful of other countries were actually playing at the time. It's like basically everything shut down. The NBA thing happened with the bubble. I didn't get selected to go there, so I was like, you know what? Because I when the season shut down in I think February or March, I was in Chicago and I went to Miami to train, and I was training for Summer League. So I'm there training, and then boom, Summer League gets canceled. So I'm like, all right, now what? Like, what am I doing now? So my agent suggested, the European market. And I was like, all right, let's give it a look. So then ended up I had 2 offers. I had one from a team in Italy and one for a team in Israel. And then the one in Israel was a little bit more money. So I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'll go to Israel. Wasn't too hard of a decision, man, but I was a little bit skeptical or maybe a little bit afraid to go because like I had been to Italy once for like a foreign tour for college basketball. We did a trip to Italy for like 10 days, couple different cities there. But this is my first time like actually leaving America to live on my own in another country. And it was tough, definitely very, very tough. At first, as soon as I got over there, man, it was, a culture shock. You're so used to America. And the one thing, man, when you're over in America and you've been there forever, you kind of think, all right, it's NBA or nothing, man. I don't care about none of that stuff. Like, honestly, I'm not going to lie. If you would have told me, you know what, you should go play in Europe, in Euro Cup, Champions League, Euro League when I was in college, I would have been like, what? Like, are you crazy? Yeah, are you crazy? Like, but I would have seen it as like disrespectful. But like now that I've been over here, man, this is some very, very, very high level basketball.
Yeah.
And just my first year, man, like I remember I think my 3rd or 4th day in Israel, I go out to eat. And I wanted to leave when I first saw my apartment. I wanted to leave. and I get to the restaurant, bro, and I'm not sure if you ever played in Israel or been there before, but like they read, you read everything's backwards. So you read from like right to left, left to right. So I get the menu, and it's all in Hebrew. And I didn't even think to ask if they had one in English. So I'm just like, I'm sitting there on my phone, like trying to translate with like Google Translate. And I'm like, yo, what is this, bro? And I wanted to go home. within a week of being there, I wanted to go home because it was just so different from what I've been used to. And fortunately for me, man, we had some pretty good Americans on that team who had been through the overseas life. Yeah. And we had a very, very close group, man. And it was a disastrous season overall as far as like with that team disaster. I ended up playing every game. I was 6th in the league in scoring, but there was like maybe the first 2 weeks of the season, like we had somewhat high expectations. First 2 weeks of the season, man, they wanted to cut all the Americans, all 5 of us, right? And you know how that works, bro. You don't play well, bro. They ready to get rid of everybody. They wanted to cut all 5 Americans. So every day we come in, vibes are bad with the GM. Vibes are bad. And this is like, yo, come on, what are we doing here? And this is my first experience, right? The whole season, we ended up winning 3 games. We beat one team 3 times. Like we didn't beat anyone. Oh, I'm sorry. We beat 2 teams. We beat 2 teams. We beat one team twice and then a other team once. And they ended up cutting 4 Americans. I was the only American to stay all year. Coach got fired. Switched coaches probably third of the season. Yeah, so it was a complete overhaul of like everybody, man. But I got really close with a lot of my Israeli teammates, and they just very important. You don't really understand that, but it's very important. And they kind of helped me understand the culture and like the lifestyle over there and how things work. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it, man. I love Israel. I love Tel Aviv. I love being over there. But it's funny, man, because when I got there, Maccabi Tel Aviv is like God over there, man. It's like, as far as basketball. And I didn't understand, like, okay, why does Maccabi win every year? Why is Maccabi always so good? I didn't understand the budgets and everything and like how things are different in the EuroLeague. I didn't get it. So like for me, I was just like every week, all right, I got to find a way to watch Maccabi play. I got to find a way to watch the EuroLeague game. I got to find a way. So I kept watching them, and I began to like starting to like them because like it's all I knew. Then I'll start watching other teams, other players, and I was like, okay, like this is pretty high level. So I was asking my agent, man, like, is it possible I can go from this team to like a EuroLeague team? And like, it's probably impossible. Like, probably. We got relegated that year, and I played well versus Maccabi. Played well versus Jerusalem, which was the Champions League team in their time. But you know, toward the end of the season, man, I really took off. Like, I had a couple 40-point games. I ended up averaging like 18. Shot, I think 39 or 40% from 3. Had an incredible season, but we just didn't win, you know. And I remember I wanted to leave like mid-season, and I wanted to go to actually Germany to go play for And it didn't work out. I ended up staying in Israel. But then that next summer, when my contract ran out, I remember I went to Mykonos for like a little vacation with some of my friends. And the first night, I talked to the coach from J.L. Borg, Euro Cup team, and then Yakalakovic, which was the coach of when I was there, which I ended up signing to. Signed on to go there, play Euro Cup, and the goal that summer was for me to play some type of international competition, whether it was Champions League or Euro Cup. So we accomplished that. I felt good about it, and I was very confident going into that next season because I had a really good season in Israel. Then I get to Germany. Remember. Well, people, if anybody played in Germany, you know the team, Radio Farm facilities are incredible, like unbelievable, man. They have the Orange Campus there, which is like basically like a mini like college campus. So you have restaurant inside, multiple weight rooms, multiple gyms, like whatever you need. So I get there and I'm like, man, this is very, very nice. And I'm starting to understand like the differences between levels. It's different levels, right? It's different levels. Because I think in America, man, like when I tell my friends I'm going to go play here and there, they all think it's the same thing. So if I'm like, hey, I'm going to go play in, I don't know, a random place, or I'm going to go play in Monaco, they think it's the same thing. Yeah. And it's not at all, like at all. But so I get there and hit the ground running, have an incredible season. First team all Euro Cup that year. Played amazing. I think we had a chance to win the Euro Cup if we would have stayed healthy. We lost our big man, Cristiano Felicio. And after that, it was kind of tough for us. But man, we had a pretty good team, man. So Darius Thornwell, Samaj Christian. We had some players on that team.
Let me interrupt you for a second because I told you before. One of my best friends is Tyrone McCoy, the assistant coach in Ulm. We played against each other. We played with each other, then we played against each other again over the course of 30 years. We know each other 30 years now. And I talk to him at least probably once a week, right?
Really?
He gives me my basketball junkie fix. Like, so I get all the inside shit on what's going on at
Yeah.
home, right?
Yeah.
And that year that you were there, we talked a lot, and he was really confident about how you guys were doing. And I remember us talking about you one day. We would talk about like one player a day, right? And one I remember the thing that stood out when he talked about you. He was like, "Yo, this kid is a dog. He gets after it. He gets after it." And Ty really liked you. So that's saying a lot because I know all the stories that went on that year.
Yeah.
And but he really liked you,
Yeah.
and he was really happy to
Yeah. Bro, very
get
amazing
moved
guy.
on.
Amazing
Was
guy.
that the year when when he was out sick and Ty took over
Yep.
for some games? That was that year, yeah. Okay,
Year.
that's the same
That
year.
was the year,
Yeah,
yep. And we actually, I think we won every
yeah,
game with
yeah,
Coach Ty.
yeah, yeah. Um, I told you only 45 minutes, dog, so I'm running a little bit late. You got a couple more minutes? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, you got a couple more minutes. I know I said 45 minutes,
Yeah,
but I
we
got
good, bro.
you
We
good?
good. We good.
Okay.
We good. We good.
What I wanted to ask you, after you left Ulm and you get to Monaco, what do you think was the biggest transition from Euro Cup to EuroLeague for you, and how were you able to master that?
So this is the thing, man. And I think this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say, like on this. And this is probably the main reason why most people struggle when they get to big teams.
Mm-hmm.
Is fortunately for me, like I'm intelligent, man. Like I've been coached by some great people, and I've learned a lot throughout that journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a different perspective than most people. So going into my first year with Monaco, so I get signed from Ulm. First team all Euro Cup. I was incredible that year, like whatever. So I'm thinking, like, all right, I'm gonna go here and do the same thing. I'm gonna be the same player and do whatever I want, in the EuroLeague level. And Monaco, before I got there, they were one game away from the Final Four. Like, it was their first year in the EuroLeague, one game away from the Final Four. Really, really good team. Like, high-level professionals on that team that played for a very, very long time. And I didn't really understand that, So I get here, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to continue to be who I was in Germany in the Euro Cup and do the same things. And when you come to a big club like Monaco, where expectations are super, super high, and you're a rookie to EuroLeague when you've got a team full of guys who played EuroLeague multiple years, you got to, and this is the thing that I really, really learned, the people who are listening could draw inspiration from this, is like, you have to learn how to reinvent yourself as a player. Like, that's the main thing. You got to reinvent yourself as a player. So people who watch me in Ulm, bro, I'm shooting the ball. I'm playing 32 minutes a game minimum. So I'm playing a lot, dominating though. I'm playing very well. I'm doing whatever I want. And here, it's just like, all right, like, yeah, you did this last year. All right, I want you to come here and be this for us. Be this. But help us win, right?
Right.
And, it took me a while to really understand that, man. Like, I struggled a lot, mentally my first year here, just as far as like my expectations and what I thought the club wanted from me. And the one thing that I think that saved me, man, was like, there were games my first year, man, where I'm super frustrated because I played, 16 seconds against Pana, or I played 9 seconds one game. I'm just like, this is so embarrassing, man. Like, I'm first team on Euro Cup. I'm better than this. I don't deserve this. All type of stuff. But the one thing about me, man, is like, after those games where I don't play, I'm in the gym the next morning with our assistant coach working out right before film, and just having that mindset of like, all right, things are not going great right now, but I'm gonna figure it out. At some point, tides are gonna turn. I'm gonna figure it out. And fortunately, I did, man. But like, there are times where I'm coming to film drenched in sweat because of my workout. We watch film. I come have practice, and I practice hard. And you earn a lot with a coach when he can see someone who's like constantly working, a player who's looking you in the eyes when they speak to you, a player who's, yes sir, I got you, coach, like, who's never talking back. Like, that stuff goes a very, very, very long way. And I was that guy my first year here. And I learned a lot, man. We had a really, really good team. We ended up going to the Final Four that year. And I was just super frustrated, I would say, the whole year, man. Like, it's a story about the Final Four. So, like, we're there. We've been ready to play Olympiacos, who was the 1 seed that year. And my coach told me in shoot around, like, all right, we're gonna start you on walk up. And I'm like, all right, bet. Like I'm telling all my friends I'm starting today. Like, perfect, I can't wait. And bro, we get to the game and we do our meeting probably like 30 minutes before the game, and he announces the starters, and he announced another guy starting in place of me.
No,
And
Sasha
mentally,
ain't do that to you.
he did. Listen, and at that point, I knew, because like, I'm smart enough to understand the rotations and like, how he
Right.
coaches. I knew I wasn't playing because of who he started, right? So I'm down, like I'm just down mentally, man. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with that game. We were up, I think 12 at halftime, and ended up draw. We had that 27-2, the historical third quarter, 27-2 for them, and they ended up winning the game. Then we ended up playing the third place game, but I think that moment that kind of defines my whole season, just like mentally not knowing like what was coming next. But I'll tell you, man, fortunately for me, man, I played extremely well in the French League playoffs, and I had a +1 contract that summer, so they ended up deciding to bring me back. I think based on that I think I showed enough throughout the season where they were confident bringing me back. But going into the next season, man, like I had a better understanding of who I was as a player and what the team expected of me. Because before Monaco, for me, a good game is 20-8 every night. That's a good game. But now being in
On
Monaco,
that level is different.
It's different, man. And so now a great game for me is 10-5. Amazing game, So you have to understand like what you do well and what you can bring to a bigger team. Because you can't, like, bro, we have Mike James, we have Elliot Kobo, Jordan Lloyd. We had guys who were, bona fide EuroLeague stars, guys who had tons of experience, and it's just me. Like, I'm coming, like, all right, like, I'm gonna come do this too. It's like, nah, like, you gotta earn this, man. You gotta learn a lot.
I'm glad you said that, because when I advise players and stuff, and they all want to know what can I do to get to the next level, and a lot of them are on lower levels, right? And I tell them, yo, the higher you go, you have to be more efficient. Yep. When you're only one of two Americans on the team, yeah, you can get your shots up. You can, but when you move up that ladder, you're gonna play less, right? You have to be more efficient in the minutes that you're getting, and be happy with it. Find your niche and do that.
Absolutely.
Right. So everything on higher level teams is more spread out. The responsibility is spread out. Yeah, when you're in the third league in Germany, it's gonna fall on you as an import player. But you go up German Bundesliga, Euro Cup, everything, that pressure gets spread out amongst everyone, right? You just have to find your niche and do it well. And
I think I agree with that 100%, and I think it's so hard, man, because most American players who've come to overseas for the first time, they have some type of G League experience. And the G League is a numbers league. You have to kill to get noticed. Like, you have to dominate. You got to score a lot. So you come over there with that mindset of like, all right, I got to do this, and this to get noticed, to get to the next level. All right, I'm at a higher level. I got to do this, and that. All right, I'm at the EuroLeague. I got to do this, and that. And it's like, it changes when you get to those little higher. It changes, man. It flips, and it's kind of like the NBA. So to say, where as far as like role players, I was a star at the Euro Cup level. I was incredible, man. I was in the MVP conversation, and I come to Monaco, and it's like, all right, be this. And I didn't understand how to really do that. And it took me a full year to do that. But then last year, I had a lot of success because I understood what was a good game for me, what I brought to the table. I accepted the fact that, okay, you may shoot the ball 4 times tonight, and 2 of those shots could be tip-ins, where like you don't really touch the ball. You know what I'm saying? But you got to accept that, and you got to be okay with it.
Hey, but you got to rebound. You got an offensive rebound off that too.
You got an offensive rebound, right? Yeah. So you got to, like I said, reinvent yourself as a player, and I think I've done a great job of that. Here. I've shown my value, being able to guard a lot of people and be that junkyard dog for us. I'll take one for the team if I have to. I'll foul a guy. I'll get an unsportsmanlike if I have to, just to get the guys going. And I've obviously gotten some more leash now. As I've been here, this is my 3rd year now, so I've gotten some more leash with the coach and a lot of the players. They understand who I am and what I do well. But yeah, man, just you got to learn how to reinvent yourself as a player. And I know a lot of players can't accept that or don't want to accept it, but man, it'll get you paid out here. It really will. Really, really will.
Speaking of your coach, Sasha, I played against him when he was in Germany, when he was in Cologne. And I got to say, that dude is one of the smartest dudes I ever played against. I had to guard him. I'm 6'8", I'm a three-man. But I had to guard him at the point. Man, he tore my ass up. He tore. And it wasn't with no like flashy shit. It was like boom, 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 assist, boom, 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 in your face, boom, boom, boom. He was smart as hell, man. I always knew he would be a good coach. You know, you feel that when you play against somebody. And, yeah, you knew he was going to be a good coach.
He's a very tactical dude, man. Like, man, I'm telling you, bro, like, I don't know, like, if people who don't know him personally, like, and see him up close and personal, yeah, all right, he's a crazy person. He says this, he does this. Like, yeah.
But off the
No,
court, he's
bro.
different.
I genuinely, I understand him, though, man. Like, and I think there's only a few people who can really understand his message. Like, yeah, his messages may be right, but a little extreme, but they're right. You know what I'm saying? And he's had success because I think they did a good job of like bringing players here who are smart enough to understand.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
Smart enough to understand because from the outside looking in, all right, you see how animated he is on the sideline. Dang, what's wrong with y'all, coach? Why he's so crazy?
It's
but it's
different.
Like it's different, man. It really, really is. It's different. But no, he's super locked in guy.
I remember we were hanging out at the All-Star game in Cologne, and we went out to a club and stuff, and his wife was there, and we were talking, and I was just trying to like pick his brain to see how fucking smart he is, and he was very analytical about his process and everything. It was a dope ass conversation. I'll never forget it. But the same thing, you know, if you're a competitor and you're passionate and it looks different than it really is, you know, from the outside, you see, like you said, your guys are like, damn, your coach is on fire. But it's like, I equate coaches like him or the guy in Partizan or think guys, you know, the old Yugo coaches, stuff like that. I equate it to what my mother used to tell me when I was a kid because my dad was my coach and he would yell and shit. And I would come home, they're yelling at me all the way home, blah, blah. And my mom would pull me to the side. I never forget it. She pulled me to the side and she was like, Sean, listen to what he says, not how he says it. The message is correct. He's not going to tell you anything wrong. The delivery of that message is overbearing.
Thing, man, I don't know where I learned this, man, but like any coach that coaches me, you can say whatever you want to me. You can coach me as hard as you can. I'm going to look past all that and I'm going to get the message. Like, I'm not going to take anything personal, like at all. And like, I have teammates in the past who struggle with that a little bit, but I don't, man. Like, say whatever you guys say to me, and I'm gonna take the message. Yes, coach. I'm gonna look you in the eyes, and I'm gonna show that respect. Like, I'm receiving the message. I got you. But a lot of guys, they struggle with that. It's a hard thing to accept for sure.
Yeah. Okay, man. I only got 2 more questions for you, man. I'm gonna get you up out of here. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self about coming to Europe? Can you hear me? Jay, can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Okay. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self about coming to Europe?
Man, honestly, there's not anything I can tell myself that would prepare me for it.
Yeah.
It's just something you have to experience. I've experienced, this is my 5th year playing now over here, and I've experienced so much that I'm a completely different person mentally than I was. And obviously I've grown a lot. I'm 31 now. I was 6 or 27 when I came over. But just the world's a lot bigger than America, man. And there's a lot of great places over here you can play. A lot of good atmospheres, a lot of high level basketball, and you're making money. And at some places, a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I'm telling you, man, I thought it was disrespectful when people were like, yo, you should go think about playing overseas. And I'm like, man, get out of here. But I'm not doing that. But like, now I understand, like, and I think there needs to be, I guess, from the agent's perspective or the agent side, a lot of teaching. You have to teach these guys that, listen, there's a lot of good basketball, high level basketball, and you're getting paid to play basketball at a high level in another country where, listen, bro, like I went to Greece last year for a vacation after the season with one of my friends, Chima Maneke, and we're over there, man, and people are coming up to us all the time, bro. Like, we're like stars over here, man. So like, you can go be a star in another country just like you are if you were an NBA player. Like the love is the same, man.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit greater over here, honestly. Some of these
Even
clubs,
on
man.
lower levels.
Yeah,
Even
for
on lower levels.
sure. For sure. I still have fans from Naharia and home who message me all the time for games. Good luck tonight. Come back to Naharia. We miss you in home all the time, man. But the good thing about it over here, I would say, is a little bit different from playing in America. Is like you feel that love up close and personal because these people, they see you every day. You'll
They're
be in the
close,
grocery
yeah.
store and these people
Yeah.
come up to you. Yeah, like it's very personal.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's nothing I can tell myself to prepare me for this or will motivate me. It's just something I've experienced over time, and I've just grown to love it, man. I really do.
Good. I mean, I feel the same, and that's why I ended up staying here. I mean, I live in Germany. That's why I ended up staying here, because it was just from my personal situation, it was better for me to stay here and to continue life here. I got one more question and then a request. The question is, what hoop shoes are your favorite that you've ever played in?
Like an impossible question to answer. I would say the ever played in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny actually. I broke my leg wearing a pair of Kobe 6s in high school, and they're the most comfortable shoe that I still wear them now. Most comfortable shoe I played in. I played in them all last season.
Yeah.
I try to stick to mostly Kobe's now, but one favorite shoe is very tough. If I got to pick one to play in the rest of my career, I'll say Kobe 6s.
Okay. All right. So that's it for me, my guy. I got one request for you. I ask everybody this, to keep this concept what I have about Let's Talk in life. I would like you to nominate someone to be a guest on the show. It can be someone, a woman, a fan. It could be anybody in the overseas basketball world. Doesn't have to be a player that I can interview. The hook is, you got to help me get that person.
Doesn't have to be a player.
It doesn't have to be a player. I've interviewed wives. I've interviewed, man. It can be the whole gamut. Just somebody that's in the overseas basketball world that can share their story and hopefully inspire somebody. It could be a fan. I've had fans on here too.
I'm gonna go player. I'm actually gonna go with one of my best friends out here, Jordan Lloyd, my teammate now.
Hey, it's funny. Hold on, man. It's funny that you said that, because I know he's back, but I write to people occasionally. I don't write to that many people and ask them to come on the show. I wrote to you last year. You never wrote. You never read my message. Thank you for that. But I also wrote to Jordan last year too, and he never answered mine either.
No response, man.
Okay, so I'm with that because I had wrote with him a couple of times, like a couple of weeks ago, actually. So I'm with that. You got to make it happen. I'm gonna write him. You tell him I'm gonna write him, and look in that spam folder that y'all don't be looking at.
I will.
And tell him I'm gonna be writing him, and then I'll do everything else.
No,
but you let him know I'm gonna be writing.
I think incredible perspective, man. Because he has a very, very unique story coming from D2.
Yeah, I know. That's what I want to tap on. That's why I wrote him before.
Yeah. Okay. I can definitely try to get that.
Okay.
Try to get that tab.
Yo,
for sure. He's an amazing person.
Hey, I took up a lot of your time, man. I appreciate Instagram was messing up. I hope everything goes good when I upload it to my YouTube channel. But I appreciate you taking the time out on your off day, man, your off evening. And this was a great conversation, man. I hope some people get some real insights to that NBA Europe lifestyle and that you provided. And I wish you all the best, my guy. I'm upstairs watching EuroLeague every Wednesday, Thursday. So I see y'all play and stuff like that. So I'll be zooming in on you as well. So hey, I appreciate you, my guy. Have a good evening, and I'll hit you up soon anyway.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me, man. It was a great time.
Thanks, man.
See you.
So everyone, I am so sorry that Instagram has been tripping all evening. I don't know what it was. I hope this video shows up when I try to download it. Great conversation, really good dude. I'm like I always say, I'm really lucky with the guests that I have on. Great insights, and yeah, that's it for me for tonight. If you were with me for for either a minute or the whole 58 minutes that we've been doing this. I appreciate you. And hopefully we'll have another great guest on soon. Until then, we'll head out.